All right, finding percent of a number. I call this lesson 13.7. So I'm just doing it the proportional way. Is over of equals percent over 100. Just there's your like your little formula. Remember, proportion. When a fraction equals a fraction, that's the proportion. And so here, number 3, 40% of 200. Well, the percent always goes over 100. And since it's of 200, the 200 goes on the bottom. So this is your x. It's like what is 40% of 200. So the what is by the is anyways. So this is just times 2 times 2. Remember, weaseling is horizontal or vertical. Multiplying and dividing, you go horizontally either way. So it's 80, right? And anyways, I'll show you later how to double check. Actually, let's do this now. You should be able to do these in your head. What's 10% of 80? Well, in 10%, you just move it over 1. 10% is like 0.1. Anyways, 10% of 80 is 8. I'm just multiplying by 0.1, so that just moves it 1 to the left, because multiply by 1 is 80, so multiplied by 0.1 is going to be 8. So 20% would be, well, just do the 10%, that's 8, so it's times 2, it's 16. What's 90%? Well, it's just 9 times 8 is 72. You should be able to do 10, 20, 30, 40, just do your 10% and then multiply it by the number. What's 100% of 80? Well, 100% means all. It means you're multiplying by 1. How do you change a percent to a decimal? You move it over 2. When you move it over 2, you just get 1. 100%. What's 100% of 80? 80. What's 200% of 80? Well, you're just going to multiply by 2. This is 160. What's 400% of 80? You're just multiplying by 4. That's 320. All this stuff you should be able to do in your head. Doesn't mean you don't need to show work. This is showing you how to double check and do it in your head. 50% means, it means half. What's half of 80? 40. That should be simple. 1%. Now, if 100% you multiply by 1, and 10% you multiply by 0.1, 1% you're going to move it 2 places over. Because you're multiplying by 0.1. Here you're just multiplying by 1. So you move it over 2, this is going to be 0.8. And so 3%, just multiply that by 3, you just get 2.4. Just do your 10% and then multiply by 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. 5%, you could multiply 0.8 times 5, but I would just do 10% is 8, so shouldn't 5% be 4? Wouldn't it just be half of 10%? I would do 10% and then cut it in half. So if I was asked 15%, I would do 10% is 8 and 5% is 4, so 15% is 12. Anyways, that's how to do percent of in your head when they're friendly numbers, okay? But I'm asking you to show work, right? You can do that head stuff, double checking using your head. Like here, what's 10% of 200? It's 20, and then so 40% would be 80. Number 6, 75%, what's 75% of 52? So the percent always go over 100. You just have to decide where the 52 is. It's of 52, so 52 goes on the bottom. This reduces to 3/4, and I know that that's times 13, so times 13, x equals 39. I'd much rather do my door number 1, door number 2, before I have to do door number 3. I don't want to multiply 52 times 75. Blech. Number 13. So 10%, again, I should be able to do that in my head. What's 10% of 250? It's going to be 25. You should be able to do that in your head. Oops, I got a spider here. Killing a spider. All right. Sorry. Just killed a spider. But I'm going to show the work. I put 10 over 100 equals, I don't know, over 250. I slash that to 1/10 and then just go times 25 times 25. You should be able to do that in your head. Number 12, 30, here I wrote is over of equals percent over 100. I'm not going to write it every time. I'll write it like every 2 or 3 times. So 35 over 100 is, I don't know, over 120. Okay, well, I want to try and reduce this. Oh, now I can, this is a reduce weasel. I reduce it to 7 over 20, then times 6, so times 6, x is 42. Number 15, 100, what's 100% of 25? Well, it's 25, that's duh. Here's my work, 100 over 100 equals, I don't know, over 25. I mean, it's 25. Number 18, 39 over 100 is, I don't know, over 200. If you set it up, and then, oh, that's just times 2 times 2. X is 78. Number 21, and then here's what I showed. What's 10% of 70? 7. 20% of 70 would be 14. 80% of 70 would be 8 times 7, 56. You should just be able to do those in your head. Number 24, 55 over 100. And then the x over 80, right? So I'm going to reduce that. So that's 11 over 20, and then, oh, that's just times 4 times 4. X equals 44. Number 27, 48% of 20. So 48 over 100. That's divided by 5, divided by 5. This ends up being kind of creepy. X equals 9.6. It's 48 over 5, which is 9 3/5, which is 9.6. Anyways, so they gave you one that didn't turn out to be a whole number. Number 30, 10%, you should be able to just do that in your head. 10% of 300 is 30. But here, 10 over 100 is, I don't know, over 300. That's just times 3 times 3. X is 30. And then we get into word problems. When you have word problems, you want to make your circle and obey your circle. So practice over total. 5 goes over 100, and I don't know how many hours of practice, but there's 24 hours in a day. I'm just going to crisscross. So 100x equals 120. Divide by 100, and you get 1.2. 1.2 hours, which is 1 hour. And if I multiply 60, or I'll go up here, 60 times 0.2, you get 12, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. Like a half of an hour would be 30. It'd be 0.5 times 60, which is 30. Anyways, 10% is 6, so 20% is 12, right? So anyways, it's 1 hour and 12 minutes, or 1.2 hours. Number 36, so it's tax over total. So 8 over 100 is, I don't know, out of $37.50. I'm going to crisscross. I did my multiplying up here. Ends up being 300. So then all of a sudden, oh, this is easy. So 100x equals 300. So x is $3. The tax is $3. And then here, interest over deposit. So it's 2 over 100 is your percent over 100. And then I don't know, over 150. I just crisscross. Again, you get 100x equals 300. Divide both sides by 100, x is 3. She'll earn $3 of interest in a year if it's 2% interest. So there you go. Hopefully that was really helpful. Hello, everybody.